All right, time for the Tesla FUD check. Stock on a tear, got to do something about it, right?
Tesla is reportedly delaying the unveiling of its Robotaxi to October from August. That's sending Tesla shares down 6% today and shares of Uber in the opposite direction by nearly as much. Deirdre Bosa has more in today's Tech Check. Deirdre?
Can't wait to hear from Deirdre. Shout out to the visibly shaken trolls pretending to be fired Twitter employees. If you know, you know. Now, before we hear from Deirdre, I just want to explain that as I'm recording this currently, these are rumours. From who? Well, as always, some random person who apparently said a thing. Now, it may turn out to be true, it may not. But we've already seen an astonishing reaction in Tesla stock. That said, many tech stocks got absolutely destroyed today. So some market-wide turmoil. But I just want to put this out there. This is the way that hedge funds and short sellers operate. Now, I'm not saying this is what's going on, but if I was getting my absolute worst pounding on an investment in years because I happened to be short Tesla stock and the stock ripped higher 50% in a month and I was bleeding financially and I had low character and no morals, what I would do as a short seller and or hedge fund who was currently short would be to plant a rumor like this in the media from an anonymous source, of course. You've got to protect the anonymous sources, have the Tesla stock react as we see today, lick my wounds and exit my short position. Of course, that obviously isn't what's happening, but I'm just pointing out as I record this is an unfounded rumor, not confirmed or denied by Tesla. Yet, the media is covering it, and it's getting the kind of reaction you might expect. For the day, Tesla stock closing down at nearly 8.5%, although still over the last 1 month up 36%. I will, of course, discuss the potential implications of a very slight delay to the Robotaxi event, but first, just let's watch this unfold.
Kelly, I mean, that chart says it all, right? The reports not just impacting Tesla, but the rideshare companies. You mentioned Uber, Lyft also popping on that headline. They've been very volatile around Tesla's Robotaxi announcements. Investors concerned that their existing rideshare networks could be threatened by Musk's ambitions. A potential delay in that event puts Tesla as a new entrant further out and does throw some cold water on Musk's characteristically ambitious claims. An underappreciated threat, though, may actually be Waymo. That's
Oh, Jesus Christ, I nearly choked, bro. Almost had my electrolytes come out through the nose there. Here we go. Just look out. I mean, on screen now. Is this not the most threatening thing you've ever seen? Oh, God. Now, I've kind of debunked this a trillion times, right? I don't have to say it again, but I know there's like 3 new people watching. Actually, a few more than that. Every video. This $100,000+ sensor encrusted joke is exactly that. Not scalable, not generalized, never going to be a threat to Tesla widely deploying robotaxis over time. The idea is laughable, but it won't go away.
It's the Google self-driving subsidiary. It opened up to the public here in San Francisco just a few weeks ago, and it's running on its own rideshare network, delivering tens of thousands of weekly trips. I spoke to an investor recently who's short Uber because he thinks that Waymo could eat into its market share in places like San Francisco and LA, and that could spook investors. Aside from robotaxis, though, there's other issues weighing on the rideshare complex. Yesterday, Uber and Lyft were lower as Massachusetts pushes ahead with a ballot question that would give gig economy drivers the right to form a union, which again, Kelly, underlines that regulatory risk around human drivers that are categorized as independent contractors in the gig economy. That is, of course, the bull case for robotaxis. They would eliminate that risk factor. It may just take longer to get there for Tesla, at least.
All right, we'll see if the delay is worth the wait as we now turn our attention to October.
I just want to notice something and observe. This is being discussed as if it's fact. We'll see if the delay, not the rumored delay, the reported delay, but the delay. Now, again, it may turn out to be true, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But if I happen to be a short seller getting my ass handed to me, I would tap somebody on the shoulder at one of the corrupt fake news organizations as an anonymous source. And by the way, I wouldn't tell them that I'm making it up. I'd just be like, oh, hey, I heard this credible rumor from somebody. And next minute, a thirsty journalist with their extremely valuable arts degree will be frothing at the mouth at the opportunity to create something that gets some clicks, so they get a nice little attaboy or attagirl from the editor at their publication. Oh, look, Tesla FUD, lots of clicks, good job. And then the media, like good little lapdogs, would do exactly what I wanted and regurgitate this talking point, true or not, and present it as if it is currently fact. And again, as I record this, neither confirmed nor denied.
October. Deirdre, thanks. Deirdre Bosa.
Well, we're on the subject of Tesla and robotaxis and CNBS.
Turn now to Tesla. It is the mega cap that was down the most in today's session, down about 8.5% after a report that the Robotaxi event that we expected in August, it's not going to be till October. This pullback breaks an 11-day win streak. And on Friday, Guggenheim analyst Ron Yovsiko joined the show and warned about headline risks about this Robotaxi event. And Yovsiko joins us now. Well, this isn't as dramatic a move as you might hope, I imagine. Yeah, and I mean you specifically, Ron, because of your sell rating here. But what does it say? This was the Robotaxi event that Elon Musk announced some months ago, kind of rescued the stock. It was on the decline. He said, we're going to do this event. People got excited, and now it's getting pushed off. Why, do you think?
Yeah, it's a good question. And to be clear, we don't have all the details right now. But I would say the
again, being reported as if it's fact when it's neither confirmed nor denied. And we certainly don't have all the facts or any of the facts. Just rumors at this point in time.
Genesis of this event, or at least the genesis from an investor point of view of when this started, was there were reports that the next generation platform was being canceled. And
No, and one more time. No, this is not true. It never was true. What happened was Tesla told investors that they're going to implement some of the things that they're learning in developing their new entirely modular manufacturing system in an interim generation of vehicles so they could bring some of the costs down of their current vehicles as an interim step before the next generation vehicle and its production. And they also went on to say that they could get to about 3 million vehicles of capacity by implementing these changes from their existing facilities without building any more factories. Now, that's what happened. However, the false narrative that we heard in the media and from many short sellers is, they're cancelling the next generation vehicle, either because they wanted to paint a false narrative for their own interests, or they're just a bunch of dumb fucks. I'm not sure which is which. But this is not true. It never was true. It didn't happen.
They were scheduling the 8-8 Robotaxi event that same day was when the public announcement was made. I think there was skepticism even at that time when we were talking with investors about what they could actually show. But we have entered this almost hype cycle over the last several months ahead of this event, which our view was it did create some risk. It's much easier in our seat not actually allocating capital to say there was risk there. But I think at this point now, Elon's called himself the boy who cried FSD being full self-driving. You do have this unreliable or lack of credibility with an aerator now that's starting to emerge, because even showing a prototype is only the first step of actually commercializing a robotaxi. We think this is 2030 or potentially well beyond 2030 before Tesla has a product in the market. Mm-hmm. It's important.
So I think that explains why the guy's betting against Tesla stock. 2030 is a long time away. If he turns out to be wrong, and I think he will be, that is going to hurt.
Important to note that Waymo and numerous operators in China, Baidu Apollo being the biggest, have robotaxis operating on the road today.
Now, arguably, it's not like Elon Musk was E.F. Hutton before this. Like we've gotten used to Elon Musk saying, I'm going to show you this thing, or here's what it's going to be. And then it's not exactly that. So maybe we shouldn't expect that this is the beginning of a great tumble for the stock, because I think the shareholders, the people trading Tesla, sort of expect Elon to be Elon. No? What's different about this time, if anything?
No, I think that's fair. I think there's always a willingness, for lack of a better term, to suspend disbelief with some of the promises that are made here. And to be clear, Tesla does have a lot of data advantages. We just think there's questions around, with the legacy fleet, if there's enough inference compute, particularly hardware 3 and earlier, to actually run FSD. And then the whole flywheel of putting the initial Model 3, Model Y vehicles on the Robotaxi network is at risk, and showing data to regulators becomes much harder because you don't have actual self-driving or level 4, level 5 testing data to show regulators.
So should we tell him that the Tesla vehicles are currently collecting data, and a lot of it, all the data, and then some, and can effectively be operating in shadow mode while a human's driving, and literally compare what the software would have done versus the human driver as a means of comparing the capability? Like, hello, I don't think he knows this. It's kind of important.
To give them confidence that this can be commercialized. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a fair point, though. The stock, at least from our vantage with a sell rating, never seems to react as negatively to actual negative headlines as it does to positive headlines. But I think today was a step closer to reality, at least for what we see as a very overextended stock.
Okay. I mean, given the fact that the stock is up something like 40% in the past month, expectations of where we go from here, it does seem like there was a lot of short covering that maybe helped fuel the rally we have seen up until today. What's the next, I guess, impetus? What's the next catalyst for this name, whether it's higher or lower?
Yeah, I would say what changed today was I think 2Q earnings matter more than they did before. There was I would say, almost consensus belief with investors that you couldn't short this stock ahead of the Robotaxi event. Now that that's pushed out, I do think the quality of 2Q earnings matters a lot more. Our view is that the delivery upside this quarter was driven by heavy discounting, and that's going to show up in the form of negative gross margins. Makes it look much more like an auto business, and we can get excited about the energy upside, but I feel like that's well captured by our model, and the stock is trading at still 55 to 60 times our 2026 earnings estimates. It's really hard to justify this valuation without robotaxis. So I think earnings will matter more.
So I promised I'd share my thoughts on the potential implications of a 2-month delay to the Robotaxi event, and we'll discuss those now. If true, and again, still unconfirmed, if true, this makes approximately zero fucking difference. But you already knew that, right? Tesla's an extremely fast-moving company, moving at lightning pace. Tesla currently finalizing the construction, implementation of a gigantic supercomputer cluster for training, working on a bunch of different projects at the same time. A delay in a Robotaxi event potentially doesn't change the data flywheel, their AI expertise, their unassailable lead, their fleet of vehicles. It doesn't change anything other than the actual event. Again, if these rumors are true, which we still don't even know, all it would mean is Tesla are not changing a thing except the date of the event. Otherwise, it's still business as usual. And given the fact that Tesla is such a lean and efficient company, it's entirely possible that the engineers, the people working at Tesla being pushed to the absolute limit are like, you know what? We're not quite going to be ready to show everything off at this date. Let's push it back a little bit. But you know what it does change? Potentially, short-term traders' perceptions on Tesla stock, as we see today, stock down nearly 8.5%. Of course, this story definitely wasn't planted by any short sales, so I'm just saying that these kind of things do occasionally occur. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. And I haven't missed a daily video in more than 3 years. Must be a coincidence, right? Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. But don't take my word for it. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. By the way, viewer, that makes 2 of us. On to the next. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. This viewer's been taking AG1 for 8 months and says, what an investment. Another. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, or I can keep going. Plenty more to come. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. If you're still skeptical, hey, I don't blame you. Everyone on the planet seems to be promoting AG1 now, but guess what? They weren't nearly 3 years ago when I had this to say privately to my Patreon audience before there was a relationship, when I was asked about what I was doing for my health, energy, and so on. Just sharing my genuine, honest thoughts about a product I'd recently discovered that was at the time called Athletic Greens, now AG1. If I could only recommend one supplement to take, Athletic Greens, and I'm not getting paid to say this, Athletic Greens is a fucking game changer. I cannot believe how effective this is. No longer having a lack of energy in the afternoons. It's fucking amazing. There's only one thing to recommend seriously. Try Athletic Greens. You won't go back. So obviously, just like Elon Musk is a liar, a fraud, a con man, a scammer, a fake engineer, and Tesla's going bankrupt, you shouldn't trust that guy from about 3 years ago who, without any financial incentive, was promoting this product to his audience on Patreon when they were asking about health and what he's doing for supplements. Because obviously, there was some other reason he recommended that, obviously. Not sure what it was, but don't trust that guy. And all the testimonials, like my mental game's improved with AG1. I feel better than ever. I'm so impressed I've bought it for both my parents. I feel more focused and have better digestion. Incredible difference. No more afternoon fatigue. It's relieved gut issues. These are all just obviously fake testimonials from fake people. Right? Wrong. Just try it. Unless you hate yourself. If you hate yourself and you don't even want to risk possibly feeling better, this is not for you. But for everyone else, what's the worst that could happen? Try it for a month. See how you feel. It's a no-brainer. Just click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR. You'll get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 plus 5 travel packs. And you'll take the colossal risk that maybe you might have a similar experience to some of the people whose testimonials we've read in this video.